Right, now it's time for it all to go back together. So the brake servo, I actually put the Puma wiper motor in as well, bolted straight in. The Fiesta one was kind of not great, so I'll wire that up when it comes to wiring. Some bits going back in now. We've got the, again, Puma pedal box, Puma brake bar, Mark 1 Mondeo master cylinder and servo, and we're starting to do the fuel tank now as well, and there's some issues with that I'll just show you under the car. Well, actually inside the car, the Puma fuel tank, all the fittings actually come up pretty much on the same hole as where the sender would have been for the Fiesta 1.1 before. Under here, using the Puma tank, there's some issues. So up, the back bolts are fine on the tank. The front bolts, although they line up to these holes, because of the breather on top of the tank, it's hitting on the floor of the Fiesta, so it won't go up all the way for this part to sit flush on the original mountings. So I'm gonna have to space that down, put some longer bolts in, and it's not great, and I might end up getting a Mark 3 injection tank and fuel lines as well. If anybody else is doing this, I'd recommend just getting like an RS Turbo or an RS 1800 or a Fiesta SI tank, fuel lines, all of that stuff. Because the other thing as well is the fitting onto the fill neck is different for the Puma as well. So I'm now having to modify the Mark III Fiesta filler neck, where I'm going to have to cut it back here and then use the Puma pipe onto that somehow to make that line up and fit. The breather pipe isn't too bad, where we just have to put the Puma one onto there, but the fill neck on the Mark III Fiesta, it pushes into the tank with a little rubber seal, but the Puma one, this is the part off the Puma, it's just a rubber hose that connects on, so I have to cut that back and put that on there somehow and make some sort of an edge on this plastic pipe so that the hose clamps properly. But yeah, if anybody's doing this, then I'd recommend using a Mark III Fiesta injection tank rather than a Puma one. You might save a bit of money using the Puma one if you've got a donor car, but in the long run, saving time just using the Fiesta one that fits properly. Just to show the brake pipes before the engine and some other stuff goes back in. So the Mark 1 non-ABS Mondeo master cylinder and servo has roughly the same brake connections to the original Fiesta brake lines. I've kept the rear brake bias valves here, kept them in the original place. They're still connected up to the rear brake lines. So the ones coming out the back of them, the one from the top goes to the front down here, one from the bottom goes to the back. All I've done is taken the original lines and just gave them a little tweak to line up to the new master cylinder. It's a bit rough at the moment, but I can remake them maybe if I have time in the future. The Mark 1 Mondeo has hydraulic clutch as well, so the reservoir there has the connection up to the Puma pedal box for the hydraulic clutch. So there's the feed over to the reservoir and the pipe going over to connect to the gearbox. So just see it fits very well, no big deal. Just another handy one to know, as I'm putting the steering column back in, just thought I'd try and see does the Puma ignition barrel and the key reader, the immobilizer key reader fit on the Mark III. So this section, all of this is still Mark III, and I was able to take the Mark III ignition barrel out and the Puma one went straight in. But not only that, I was able to put the transponder unit around the keyhole. All I had to do was shave a little bit where there was a bit of an edge, shave that off with a grinder, and it went straight over. So really handy now, we'll be able to just use the Puma key in ignition, connect up the transponder here for the ECU, and we'll have all the immobilizer stuff there rather than having the key and the transponder somewhere under the dash. It's just going to be all here as it would be on the Puma. Right, so end result of the Puma tank in the Mark III Fiesta is, so it's there. I stuck some gold heat resistant stuff on the side for the exhaust. I've got no heat shields, but the breather on top of the tank, I've got some spacers under these bolts, the front bolts, because it was touching the floor above. Then on the filler neck, so all of this is the original Fiesta filler neck up to here, and I cut this off and I got the pipe that was on the Puma cut to size and put on there. The other pipe here is the Puma one and it's chopped off here a bit. I had to heat up the end here to get it onto this part, but I didn't have to cut this part of the Fiesta pipes at all. And then the breather pipes, there's two of them on the Puma and the Fiesta. So the longest one is joined there to the Puma breather pipe, and this one just sticks out the little hole in the tank as part of the breather system. So that's all connected up now. Tank is in, still wiring to do. Fuel filter is there at the side, and now I just need to sort fuel lines going up to the engine. So the original carbureted Fiesta has like an 8mm and a 6mm steel line going up to the engine. The 6mm one is the return. So what I'm hoping to do now is I've got this plastic fuel line kit with joiners. They come with little ferrules as well that go inside the joiners. I'm looking to recreate the same as the Puma lines there with one of these. So the 8mm steel line, I'll get the plastic pipe, heat it up and push it onto here, and then remove this push fit connector from this original Puma plastic pipe and create a new piece that goes onto here. Same at the other end, heat up pipe, push it onto that and send it up to the engine, and then the return steel line that's in the shape that the Fiesta needs is, as I said, 6mm, so that's not good enough. So what I do is I just use this plastic line all the way from the return of the tank up to the engine. So one of them will be partially steel, the other one will be fully plastic all the way from the tank up to... Right, most of the day has gone by. Fuel pipes and exhaust. Still missing a back box. Didn't want to use the Puma one because we would have had to have made mounts for it and stuff, and it's too big anyway really, so I'll get like an RS 1800 one or something like that. Hopefully that'll work. Fuel lines now have plastic ones, got these little joiners with the line kit. So that's the Puma line coming down, joined onto it with a new one. Ended up running 2 full plastic lines all the way up to the injector rail, running along with the brake pipes there. Trying to make the plastic go onto the steel pipe was a disaster. It's hard to work with, but these joiners are pretty decent. Exhaust, so this is the Puma exhaust. It was almost new on the Puma, although the rest of the car was rotten. So because of the plastic fuel pipes all along here, I've heat wrapped the whole thing. It will stop heat from going through into the floor as well anyway. Puma gear linkage fitted with the SP parts bracket, and then the Puma exhaust would have had a flexi pipe here, and I've cut that out, made it solid, and just put a joiner, because there isn't much movement when you're using the Mark III Fiesta gearbox cradle, and the 1.1 never had a flexi in that area, so I've kept it solid. It might vibrate a bit, but yeah, we'll see what it's like. So yeah, it's all heat wrapped all the way along and by the fuel tank. So yeah, that's what you can use, that's what you can do when you're doing the Puma swap. So we've got the car back at home, so I can have easy access to get a few more bits sorted out. Just been doing the coolant line, so I thought I'd show what way I've done this now. So some of the Puma hoses, some of the Fiesta hoses, and some other hoses. So we've got the new RS 1800 Mark III Fiesta radiator. This pipe is the original one from the Puma, from that side of the radiator. Got another one down there that kind of goes in an S shape up to the thermostat housing. That's actually a K24 2002 to 2008 Honda Accord S section of a pipe. It's just a really tight S, so I just cut down a pipe that I could find, came off of a Honda Accord. This one from the other side goes all the way around and over and into the heater matrix. That's the Puma one, and then this one from the back of this outlet here on the back of the head, that one over there to the heater matrix on the top there is the 1.1 Mark III Fiesta hose. This kind of bleed hose up here is off the Puma as well, and that goes straight onto that outlet of the Mark III Fiesta header tank. And then this one from the header tank, which feeds the radiator, is the Puma one, but with about 6 inches cut off of it, because the Puma radiator is actually quite a bit further away from the engine on the Puma, so just cut a bit off of that. That went in there perfectly fine. Bit of an issue I've got to sort out now is I did buy a Mark III Fiesta RS 1800 electric fan to go in here, but the distance between the inlet manifold and the radiator here is way too tight for that to fit. So I think I'll have to get like a slimline electric fan that just mounts straight onto the radiator, and either put it on this side or in here or something on the other side. So that's all the coolant hoses, they're all hooked up, there's coolant in there. Now I think on the last video I said about tapping a hole in the front of the engine over there by the thermostat for the temperature sensor to the Mark III dash. Hard to see it, but in under here is where it actually is. So it's right in there. You just see the green there. So I've taken this one out that was there, which in the Puma didn't have anything connected to it, because it's a digital ECU, and this would be an analog sensor. So it seems that that was just there blocking a hole. So the Fiesta one that's gone in there now looks exactly like this anyway, but has this green tip on it as well, like that. So this one probably would have done, but I just put the Fiesta one in there anyway, just to be sure it'll work properly.